Hiroshi Fujiwara, with his team at Fragment, is the absolute arbiter of all things cool in Japan, on a level probably difficult for most Americans to comprehend. Entire markets rise and fall on his word. Burton, Nike, Levi's, and of course Kangol are just some of the brands who work with HF to tell them what's up. So I thought that was kind of a good nutshell, because it also says how there's no comparison to anything anywhere else in the world that they can say, oh, he's like the X of France, or he's like the X of New York. There's kind of like no other global comparison. And then I think it was right after the interview, you asked if I wanted to come over and have dinner at your house.
Yeah.
And I went into his house and Eric Clapton was barbecuing in the backyard. No joke. And I was like, well, there's Eric Clapton grilling on the barbecue. I was like, this is very surreal. And then, so I'm having dinner with him in his house then. And I'm thinking, like, what does this guy and Eric Clapton do, like, after dinner? Like, they must do some crazy shit, like, going out or something. And then Hiroshi comes out with, like, these DVDs of haunted mansions, right?
Is it?
Yeah, it's like you're like, hey, check out these DVDs I got. Like, it's of haunted ghosts and like, documentation of ghosts. And we just started watching that all night. And the whole time, I'm like, when do we go to the strip club? When do we go to the strip club? That's how we met, and we've just been kind of close ever since. I think he's been. I think regardless of the mileage that we have in between us, we've just kind of developed a really good relationship.
But we never really done collaboration yet, right?
Not as much as people would think, right?
That's how it's happening. I mean, collaboration is really, really by chance.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Right. It has to make sense. Even though we've known each other for like almost 10 years, it still has to make sense.
Well, I started with a kind of DJ and fashion all together same time, and just a few magazines and asked me to introduce something interesting, something new, like new record or new jeans or new shoes or whatever. It was 25 years ago, maybe more than that, 26 years ago. And then I start. Because at that time, not many people traveling to Europe or New York. Even like Japanese people never really go to New York to buy a record, right? But I did.
And then what was the next evolution? So you had Goodenough as a clothing brand, and then that you opened stores as well?
No, I never opened a store.
Oh, okay. So Goodenough was just clothing?
Yeah.
And then it got really popular, and then you decided to stop, right? Why did you decide to stop?
I don't know. I didn't want to take a risk.
About
it was time, it could be growing, or it could be dying, And, I just didn't want to keep continuing. And I decided to do like Fragment, which is, I don't manufacture anything.
Right.
And do work for other people. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable in that area. I'm more kind of underground people, I think.
Right. First it started as music, and then it went to fashion, and I think the next generation of your career and your life started to get into media. And you always wrote. Yeah. So you always wrote for magazines, and I remember the day you told me that you wanted to start a website, like a web magazine.
Right.
And so tell me about why you felt like it was time for you to do that.
That wasn't like the first one to do a website, because there's many websites already at the time. And I was kind of waiting for time when we start, because I've been asked many people to do a website, but I didn't do anything at all. And I was kind of waiting.
And what do you think about, probably the most popular or famous aspect of Honeycomb? And in case you guys don't know, that's HONEYEE.com. The most popular part of that is probably the blog part. Was that definitely like one of the things that you, in the original plan, you're like, it will definitely have a blog?
No.
Oh.
Oh, really?
So how did that come about?
Well, they want me to do something. kind of every day or every week. So the blog wasn't that popular at that time too.
Yeah.
No one really knows it. So, but yeah, I decided, alright, let's do it. And then at that time, blog was just a writing, not pictures.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
I just, and me and Hiroki, everyone have a digital camera. So I just started putting pictures because it's easier to show what's going on.
Right. Do you download or buy music?
Yes.
You have to answer one or the other.
Download what?
Or buy.
Right, download.
For free. Like,
No, but if I can pay, I pay.
if you can afford 99 cents.
First of all, I go to iTunes Store
Okay.
and then download from iTunes Store.
Okay.
But sometimes you couldn't find any songs.
Right.
So, and then I go to LimeWire.
Okay.
And I gotta tell you, my iTunes account is his account.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's connected to my PayPal, so.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll get, Hiroshi, did you just buy Nancy Sinatra or something?
Paris Hilton. You call me for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Paris Hilton CD.
Yeah, somebody bought Paris Hilton's remix on my account. And I thought, Hiroshi couldn't have done that. And I definitely didn't do that. So I asked him, like, did you do that? He's like, yes, I did. No, when we were together in Tokyo, there is, like, if you can picture me and him walking, there's always like a ring of space, and then people sort of around it, but they never actually enter. That's it. It's
Yeah.
very, very rare.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's maybe only like a handful of times where I remember someone actually coming to you and shaking your hand and talking to
Uh-huh.
you. Yeah. So they're just, I guess it's like when I started the conversation with you, everyone is just scared.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other item that you're kind of associated with is footwear and sneakers, right? When did that passion begin? Was it when very young or kind of later in life?
Oh, the sneakers
Yeah.
was maybe, I don't know, really getting sneakers. When I was skateboard, you need sneakers all the time.
Right. One time, just as a side note, we were snowboarding together once, and I kind of went off a trail. We were snowboarding with like 8 people or something, and I went off on a trail that led to nothingness. Like it was just off. And then out of the 8 people, Hiroshi came after me. Like they could have just gone and I just would have been left for dead. So he came after me and came down, and we got to the point where we couldn't go anymore, and he's like, Jeff, if we die, this is all your fault. He's like, I can't believe you did this to me. And I felt so guilty. And then as we're hiking, we see wolves. Remember we saw wolf flags, right? There's like a wolf circling us. And he's like, this is all, he kept saying, this is all your fault, this is all your fault.
Okay, so this is the last question, and we will end this 1-to-1. Is rolled up pants, hence the latest newest trend in menswear?
You too. I guess so.
Yeah.
So please copy us.
Yeah.